NBA guy. His name is Chris Broussard, and I got to tell you, people think I'm apologizing for LeBron, and I use the analogy that excuse Steven Spielberg if he's going to lunch with a new director and he forgets your name on the way. Steven Spielberg's goals and aspirations are a little larger. Of course, Chris, this was bigger, more meaningful in Game 1 for Aaron Baines and Jayson Tatum and Terry Rozier, right?
Yeah, and if you look at LeBron in this postseason, he's been bad in Game 1s, even though 2 of his Game 1s were triple-doubles. But the 3 games with Indiana, who's Toronto, and now Boston, he's only averaged 21.7 points.
In Game 1.
In Game 1s. 37% shooting, and 1 for 17 from 3.
Do you have kind of a belief why this is?
Well, he said yesterday that he's kind of looked at Game 1s as a feel-out process.
That's how boxers see the first 2 rounds of a fight.
Yeah. So, I do think that Floyd Mayweather, gave away rounds to McGregor because he wasn't fearful. Just like LeBron said, I'm not concerned. So you can do that. This is my one thing. Obviously, the feeling out process hasn't worked because Indiana made it. It was a tough series, 7 games. Toronto, it worked just because they were scared of you. You came back and you beat them. I would have liked for LeBron to come out and put the hammer on them.
Yeah.
Because Boston will not die. If this may go, I pick Cleveland in 6. Okay.
So
and I still feel that.
I do too.
But if this goes 7,
that's the game.
I would pick LeBron to win it because he's LeBron and he's done it so many times before. But this is a team, they've got some things Indiana doesn't have. They got a lot more weapons, more guys that can take you off the dribble and hit the 3.
I didn't think Nate McMillan had a great series as a coach in Indiana.
And Brad Stevens is a great coach. Okay, so they got a better coach, more talent overall, and home court advantage, and they don't die. They're like Rocky. They're like, I'm not saying they're going to beat Cleveland because Cleveland, I think, is going to win the series. But this is a team they went from thinking, I believe, going into Game 1, Boston's thinking, we can win this. Now they think we're better than Cleveland.
Yeah, dangerous.
And so you got a fight on your hands now.
I said this Friday. Chris, there's a big difference. Julio Jones is a great football player. I don't think he's that valuable. 2 games he missed last year, they scored over 40. Okay. I think there's a lot of – J.J. Watt is a great player. He's not that valuable. There'll be games he'd have 2 sacks and a touchdown. They'd lose by 20. Odell Beckham's great. It's not that valuable. Okay, Kyrie Irving. Let's see. The Cavs swept the number 1 seed without him, and it looks like to me the Celtics ball movement is as good as anybody in this sport without him. Kyrie Irving, is he sitting there watching this thinking, boy, this is wonderful, go Celtics? Or is Kyrie thinking, I don't look great here?
Well, a few things. Number one, Kyrie was very valuable in Cleveland, though. You got to give him that. When they got to the finals, they don't win that championship in 2016 without Kyrie.
Fair. So very fair.
I will give you that. You can argue, if you want to even say the year before, they took them 6 without Kyrie and Love. And this year, obviously, they're in the same spot as they were with him last year. But here's the thing also. Kyrie Irving, there were a lot of reasons, a myriad of reasons he left Cleveland. One was that, reportedly, he wanted to be the man, right? He wanted his own team.
Right.
Okay? He wanted to see guess what? This is not your team anymore. It's Brad Stevens' team.
Wow, great
it's Brad
point.
Stevens' team. When you come back, win or lose this series for Boston, this is now Brad Stevens is a genius. He's the face of the Celtics. And that doesn't some people might say, well, of course the coach is easy. No, it's James Harden's team. It's Steph Curry's team. OKC is Russell Westbrook's team. Was Durant's team. LeBron has his team. It's the superstars team. But now this is no longer Kyrie's team. It's not.
You know
right?
What? This is great. I never thought about this. I think you're totally right. I've never talked about a coach this. If I would have been doing sports radio during Red Auerbach's days, I'd have still talked Russell.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I wasn't talking Phil Jackson. I was talking Kobe and Shaq. All I'm talking about is Brad Stevens. You're right. He's a star. Let me throw this at you. Listen, man, Colin right, Colin wrong 30 minutes from now. I like Jayson Tatum. I had no idea Jayson Tatum was going to be this good, this fast. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, good God, if he pops again, he's a better player than Kyrie without the injury history.
Well, I hesitate to say that. I'll tell you this. He's better than Gordon Hayward.
Absolutely.
And I thought when he was drafted, he would eventually be better than Gordon Hayward. But I think right now, he's already better. He wasn't 3 months ago. Right now, he's already better than Gordon Hayward.
Ask yourself this. When you watched that game yesterday, who stops Tatum on that team?
Now, you're right. You're right. I would not trade. If I'm Boston, I'm thinking I'm going to talk to the Spurs about trying to get Kawhi Leonard this summer. But I wouldn't put Jayson Tatum's off limits.
Okay, that's a great question. They want Kawhi. And Popovich has said, the stories are that Popovich would move Kawhi if they can't get this thing figured out. Yeah. But he would move him east.
To the east.
Okay, Boston clearly, between draft picks and players, has way more than anybody else. If you were Danny Ainge, okay, give me your top 3 of won't trade. I think Tatum's one.
Tatum's one.
Okay, now, before you say Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, an elite defender, is now a 40% three-point shooter, Chris.
No, that's a good point. Obviously, I don't want to give up any of them. My first offer would be Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and next year's Kings pick.
I'm not taking that for Kyrie. hey, Mr. Popovich, you got the wrong number. Click.
Look, you're making sense. I love Kyrie. I've said, I think he has the best handle in NBA history. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. But we know he's a liability on the defensive end where Jaylen Brown isn't. Jaylen Brown's going to be a great two-way player. I don't think offensively he'll ever be what Kyrie is, but he can be a really good offensive player.
Yeah, and he's become a good three-point shooter. Okay, I threw this at you last week. I'm going to do it one more time. Houston gets clobbered in this series. LeBron goes where he feels needed. But he also goes where
he's needed in a lot of places.
Okay, he is. But he will not choose young play. He doesn't want to be part of a growth thing as much as he wants to be part of a next year. Okay. He's the story.
Okay.
Just let me, if you think I'm crazy, Rockets get doused in this series. It is 5 and it is ugly. Don't you think the Rockets move up to number 1 on his board if he leaves Cleveland? He doesn't like rookies.
I don't think. I think Philadelphia. Unless he just wants to be in La La Land. The Lakers, it's just, I want to be in L.A. Okay, take that out. Winning, I think it's Philly still. Because if you're in the East, you got a much better chance of getting to the finals. And when we look back, I hate to bring up the MJ GOAT thing again, but LeBron should be thinking, okay, obviously I'm never going to be undefeated in the finals. I may not even win 6. But if I've been to twice as many finals as Mike,
yes,
or close to twice as many, that's a feather in my cap.
It's a volume thing. After a while, we said with Tom Brady, listen, Montana's 4 for 4. Brady's now been to 8.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we don't even talk about Brady Montana. The perfect thing doesn't matter as much when it's overwhelmed by an avalanche of volume.
Which, to me, that's why I think he should stay in the East and go to Philly. Here's the thing, too, because there are concerns. People have concerns. Does he fit in Philly? Who's got the ball? I want Ben having the ball for the most part. And I told you, I've been told LeBron would play off the ball. You have the same questions, and maybe I think even more so in Houston. Like, if you're James Harden, Harden has not changed his game at all. 1 iota for Chris Paul. Not at all. So who changes next year? If LeBron goes there, who makes the big change? And the way their guys that play off the ball in Houston, for the most part, are spot-up shooters. Other than Capella, who always sets the high screen. But they have spot-up shooters. LeBron's definitely not ever going to be a spot-up shooter.
No, but I believe, my theory, smart people figure it out. Harden,
and there's truth to that. I'll give you that.
Okay, you got a smart coach, a smart GM, smart players, Chris Paul, Harden, LeBron. It's like LeBron didn't fit with D-Wade either or Bosh. They smart guys figured it out. You put me in a room, with some DNA, we'll figure out the next great thing.
So you used to want him to go to the Lakers. It was LeBronzo. Now it's LeBron. Now you want him. So why you want him going to Houston?
Listen,
man, if it's up to you, best thing for you, just whatever. You want him in Houston now, right?
All I'm telling you is Houston would be great. He'd be out of the East, so we'd have a dynasty in the East. We'd have a challenger in Philly to the dynasty. We'd have Paul George would go to the Lakers or Philly. It's good either way. Right now, we've got a dynasty with no challenger, and Houston's going to get mauled. It doesn't do me any good. I want challengers. I want Frazier to Ollie. Even though Ollie's better than Frazier, Frazier could knock him down. Frazier could beat him. Frazier could out. We got Golden State here and a bunch of guys jabbing.
You don't think if LeBron goes to Philly next year, even if they're not a challenger, and I think they would be next year, you don't think 2 years from now they'd be a challenger?
Say a 17th year for LeBron. Simmons still not shooting. Embiid's out for 30 games with an injury. Hey, look, smell it, live it, learn it, love it. LeBrockets is happening, folks, if Houston gets rolled in this series. Coming up next, I hated it the first time. We're going to see it again. You're going to love it. I'm going to roll my eyes. I'll tell you what's happening in sports, guaranteed next. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.